Welcome back to the Culture of Currency, where today we're getting into the very first video where we're talking about the differences between government-issued silver bullion and our generic silver. So we have laid out before us a path where monthly we're going to be buying $100 worth of generic silver bullion versus government-issued bullion coins. And I'm going to be bringing you videos where we're going to track the values over these two over time so that you can understand which one is best for you in whatever situation you're in. For example, if you are somebody who might be doing something very short as far as a turnaround, this is probably easier for you. If you're somebody who's going to be buying and holding for a long time, maybe this has more interest for you. And we're going to go over that and see which one of those over time is the better option for you. So just to give you an idea, this is roughly $100, which is 3 ounces. And in our generic, it's 3.5. This is a ½ ounce right here. And this was part of my first purchase. I actually have a couple more coins as in order to get free shipping, I had to buy $200 worth. So I just put 3 here to have a comparison, which is 3.5 ounces versus 3, which is why a lot of people go this route. However, over time, we see that the premiums on these coins end up having a valuation that exceeds the premium over time, as these are low mintage and that type of thing. And so that's what we want to see, is that does that disparity over time make sense to where this is a smarter option if you are looking to hold for, let's say, 5 to 10 years, or you're a collector or whatever. So getting into that, I've created a spreadsheet. So as you see here on your screen, sheet 1, I have put in some data points, and I want you to look at these with me, because if there's certain areas that I need to track that I have overlooked, let me know in the comments so that I can add those as any type of data I can use to help you understand which is best for you is what I'm looking for. So I have green for generic and blue for the government-issued bullion. So our generic, once again, I have our purchase date, which is very simple, tells us when we bought the coins. We also have right here a description, a short description of the coins, so I know which is which. I don't know if I technically need that, but it just is going to help me think through things. Then I have the price that I paid for it. In this case, it's $27.70, which was lower than what my local coin shop was actually selling these for at the time. I bought these on sale online because they were Christmas themed a couple of days after Christmas. And so you see I paid $27.70 for the full ounce, and for the ½ ounce I paid $15.93. Obviously, a ½ ounce tends to have a higher premium because it's a smaller denomination. Spot was $24.60, so roughly a couple bucks over. The premium is $3.10 and $3.63 on the ½ ounce. And then I have the weight. So that's how I'm tracking my generic silver. Same thing for our government-issued bullion. We have our date. Right here we have that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 coins, because that's what I could get for $200. And we have our prices here. 32, 31, 32. You see that they're definitely in the 30s, which is more than I paid by a couple of bucks on our generic. You see our premiums tracked over here, $8, $7, $6. The Forget-Me-Not had a $19 premium on it. That's a lot of premium there, I know. And then I have the weight, 1 ounce, 1 ounce, 1 ounce, 0.46. It's a commemorative coin out of Austria, 111. So over here, I have a side-by-side. Generic price paid, $99.03. Bullion price paid $219.28 because I went for the 200 mark. My premiums in the generic are $12.93. My bullion premiums are $60.55. The reason I went with a higher premium on the Forget-Me-Not is to mimic sometimes the coins that we go out and buy and we pay a little bit more for because they're low mintage or whatever. You have an affinity for that coin. You think it's going to jump in value. Whatever your reason it is, I wanted to throw in one that had that more towards the extreme premium just to see how that works over time. Average generic premium for the generic silver, $3.23. Average for the government issued bullion, $8.65. So we see a pretty good disparity there. And then I have spot for our Q1 being January at $24.60. You also see that I'm going to be checking spot for Q2, the end of March, Q3, the end of June, September, and December for Q3 and 4. And this is how I'm going to track it. Obviously, what we're going to have is the generic silver just tracked with spot, because usually sometimes you can sell them right at spot, sometimes you can sell them under, sometimes you can sell them above depending on where demand is, but normally you're under spot. So I'm just going to keep them neutral. Wherever spot is, we're going to assume that's what we're going to sell our generic for. When I go to our bullion value tracker, here I've entered the date purchased, the description of the coin, once again, the price I paid, the spot, the premium, the weight, just like we had in the first sheet. But now I have the end of Q1 being March, then we have Q2, Q3, Q4, and then we'll have a change. What was the total change that we saw, or the average change that we saw in 2024? So from what I bought it, let's say this antique Jesus coin, bought it for $32.72 over this year, what will it have changed? And we'll do that over the entire year to see, is this something that we see through an entire year where there's a move of value there? And as I go into next year, is that where we see things change? Are there differences based on mintages or themes that are more attractive? We're going to try to look into all of those little metrics so that we can identify, are there certain types of coins out there that traditionally just gain value, and that should be something that you weigh. Let's say it's a kookaburra and you end up paying a $7 premium every single time for a kookaburra, but in 3 years the value of the kookaburra ends up being $20 over what you paid for it. Then it's a smart thing, right? So that's what we're looking for. Where are the disparities here? Where are the outlying information data points that we need to look at that here on a piece of paper you can see and make sense of? So that's kind of what we're doing here, and that's what we're hopefully going to be taking you along the journey on. So as we unbox every single month, it'll be fun to go into that and go into the history and the culture, as I've always done, of our government issued bullion coins. And then as we get towards our channel getting monetized, that's when we're going to be getting into giveaways and having 10% of whatever YouTube pays me in viewership going back to you, the viewers, in giveaways and things like that. So it's going to be a heck of a ride, but that is the big thing coming in our channel. This is month 1, January. So right here, for example, this is St. Helena, which is an island in the Atlantic. This is Samoa, which is an island in the Pacific. And this is Barbados, which is an island in the Caribbean. We're going to be getting a bunch of these this year, adding those to our collection, and then stacking up what will hopefully be $1,200 worth of this generic silver as well in that time, in order to value $1,200 versus $1,200. What does that look like over a year? All that kind of stuff. So it's going to be very fun, and I hope that you remember, as always, to stay classy and current with the culture of currency.